If you're like me and you want to bring your gardening game up just to the next level, a greenhouse or a high tunnel, that's where it's at. So in today's video, we're going to go over things like size, cost, supplies, the time it takes to build it, going over some like raised beds, some ideas there, and even just some cool features you can do in the high tunnel, like exhaust fans and roll-up sides, all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing, size. What is this one? This is a 16 by 24 Dakota Series high tunnel by Grower Solution. So their Dakota Series has more reinforcement, like more, trusses. There's gussets on the side. This is to help with snow load in northern climates. So here in Michigan, I wanted to make sure that we could build this right the first time. And then during the winter, get like a foot of snow. Hey, it's gonna melt, dump right off. And you can kind of see here, we had a snowstorm a few days ago. This stuff just rolls right on off and just sits there instead of all that weight on top. So again, 24 long, 16 feet wide. I'll show you guys in here too, like what something like this would look like. So this is 384 square feet total. Check this out. I mean, guys, tons of room in here. Tons of room. So with all this room to grow some awesome plants, the next question is, how much is the cost for all of this? What is this going to set you back on your property or homestead? For this specific kit, it was $2,925. If I wanted to go longer than 24 feet and do 28 instead, it's an extra $300 every 4 feet, right? So you just do the math, look at the measurements, what you want to do, how big do you want to go? That's what your cost is going to be. Every 4 feet you want to add extra is going to be another $300. You could also go wider too. You could decide on 20 feet wide or even I think 30 feet wide if you wanted to. It really depends on what makes the most sense for you. Also, there's multiple kits you can choose from. Again, this one's Dakota. There's like a glacier one. There's like the normal one you usually see, just like the crescent type, cover thing that they have. There's even high sidewall ones. So this one's like, I think almost 5 feet tall for the sidewalls. You could get like a high sidewall that's 7 feet tall. I mean, just crazy. But a lot of options to choose from. I'm not sponsored by Grower Solution at all, but highly recommend them. Their prices were the best on the internet, and quality was great too. So definitely check them out. Okay, so extra supplies. What is not included in the kit that you are responsible for providing? First thing being lumber. Guys, a lot of lumber. You're gonna have like your normal framing on the bottom piece where everything's going to be kind of affixed to. They give you these metal ground stakes. You drive them into the ground. The lumber's going to be kind of creating your frame or your base around it. Also for the sidewalls here. So I decided to get a roll-up kit. I'll show that in a little bit. But so you have to have some lumber along this side too, so that during the summer these sides can roll up for ventilation. Other things, screws, just random stuff like that. Oh, one thing you definitely have to get, a storm door. So this is a Larson storm door. I think I got this from like Lowe's. This was like, I think it was like $200. But yeah, it's actually, hung and framed right into the greenhouse itself. So the plastic wraps around the framing and creates like a nice seal. So definitely on you to get that too. Time. What does something like this cost time-wise in order to do? I thought that this would be way easier. I thought I could knock this out in a weekend. I was totally wrong, guys. If you have like, I don't know, 4 more people, you probably could do it in a weekend. But for me, I think this took about 20 hours of my time to get this up. I actually had some friends and family help me with the top piece here, the plastic film to put over the top. Definitely need 2 people for that. If you had 4, even better. But really it's just doing all your measurements, making sure everything's square, just taking your time to make sure it's done correctly, everything's level. But yeah, 20 maybe to 30 hours depending, maybe you're a little bit slower, I don't know. I tended to be out here until it was absolutely dark, almost broke the spotlight out to keep going, but I'm pretty sure 20 hours is what it took for me to do this. And I forgot to mention too, that was everything. So that was building it, getting the film on, starting to work on the raised beds, doing the storm door, all the extra features like the roll-up sides, the exhaust fans, just all that fun stuff. So, you know, to actually get the whole thing up, I bet you could do it probably in like 10 to 12 hours. But to do all like the finish work and all that extra stuff that goes with it, definitely plan on 20 hours. All right, raised beds or garden rows, you know, whatever you want to decide on. We decided on raised beds in here. So most people will do, you know, like grow directly on the ground, like your 3-foot rows, spaced equally just to get the most square footage you can. We really like the aesthetic of the raised beds. So I did like a nice perimeter along the edge, 2 little island part here, you know, parts here jut out. But yeah, we're still working on it, but tomatoes are going to go into here. My wife already has some cilantro planted. These are looking real good. Check it out. Nice, nice. My wife, she's already planted some Swiss chard. There's some spinach and lettuce. This spinach you see here, this was actually from outside during the winter. The spinach, you know, it wasn't that bad of a winter here in Michigan, but we brought them inside in here, and man, they're gonna start just exploding, guys. You can already kind of see new growth happening here. I mean, this is gonna be awesome. So we wanted to do the raised beds, even though it's 384 square feet in total. I think factoring in the square footage area of all these raised beds, we're like close to 200 square feet. So another nice thing about the raised beds is, hey, since these are out of the ground, this soil is going to build up in temperature, and at nighttime, it'll actually help keep this place kind of heated and keep the frost away from the plants. So check this out. This is pretty cool too. 32 degrees outside right now, but since it's a nice sunny day, we're 70 degrees and climbing in here. Man, it feels like summer in here. It's awesome. Definitely check out raised beds. So the last thing is extra features. What can you do to like automate your greenhouse, set it apart, be like super pro level? I'll give you some tips on what I did. I got it all from Amazon, but it's gonna make your life a hell of a lot easier in managing like the temperature and things like that in your greenhouse. So first thing, this is a passive air intake. I think this is 18 by 18. So when the fan, the exhaust fan over there kicks on, this part's gonna just naturally open up. So the fan's gonna create, you know, a negative pressure in here. This intake will open up. That's gonna bring fresh air in, kind of cool things off, keep the humidity down. Cool thing with this, so this brand is Vavor, you know, whatever it is from Amazon. That's a 16-inch exhaust fan. I think gosh, I don't know if you guys want to get into the CFM, but I think it's like 2200 CFM or something when it's cranked on full. So have this set on to where when this gets 85 degrees in here, with this thermostat detecting it, that'll automatically kick on. The shutters will open. It'll start venting things out. The passive intake will open because of the negative pressure, and it's going to cool things off. Perfect day today. It's too cold to have the sides open, but when it gets too hot in here, I want this thing to start venting. So that's what that's going to do. Another cool one, this is just like an El Cheapo Wi-Fi thermometer. I have this hooked to our phone. So when I want to get into like the nitty gritty of like, oh man, what is the humidity? What's the temperature at 2 a.m.? I can do that. Like, it's actually kind of cool to look at like the difference in temperature. And even when it's like, I don't know, like 25 for a low. The lowest I got in here, according to that, was like 32, 33 degrees. So just pretty cool stuff to look into. Again, the woven fabric. So this was just at Lowe's. Something really easy to do. You know, sometimes you don't want to just be in the dirt. You want to be on this. It's easy to sweep, maintain. This is since this is like a woven fabric, when water gets on, it'll just soak into the ground. But the cool thing I wanted to show you guys was the roll-up sides. So check this out. So these roll-up sides, this is the roll-up side kit that's extra with grower solution, but it comes with like your straps. They give you this long piece of metal that you screw in with some clips. But check this out, guys. I'll try to do this with one hand so you can see how easy it is. this thing just rolls up. Oh man, I'm gonna cool this greenhouse off so quick. But look at that. And then you can tie it up to this strap. So during the summer, you know, you can just leave these open to have this ventilate. There won't be any need for that exhaust fan. You know, the exhaust fan's great during like spring, fall, maybe even winter, I guess, if it gets too hot, if it's like a really nice sunny day. But it's just nice to have best of both worlds there. So you can see the outside of that. Here, I'll try to open this up. When the fan kicks on, you know, this will open up, and then when it's done, it's gonna shut to keep out bugs, things like that. So those are just some cool things you can do to try to set yourself apart, make it easier. So it's just not so much like, I don't know, just a pain to always be out here and having to mess around with it. But those are some things I recommend. Check out Amazon, you know, do the things I recommended with the tools. Reach out or comment below if you guys want like the actual brands or whatever I use, but those are pretty cheap and they work great. Well, that was the quick tour of the greenhouse, or, you know, high tunnel. I mean, I'm really excited this growing season to see what we can do. So we're gonna be able to start earlier, extend our season later into the fall and early winter here in Michigan. It's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna be doing more videos, you know, throughout spring, summer, even into fall, showing what we can grow here and what we've been able to harvest. But again, really recommend you guys looking into growersolution.com. They have a lot of kits, really good prices. It came here really quick too. I think like, even though it came freight, it was like a week or something. But definitely recommend it. And comment below if you want to know, you know, have more questions, want to know like specific, I don't know, brands or things like that. But excited to see what happens. All right, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. See ya.